Okay, so we are on page, what is this, 423? Everyone's on page 423? Okay, so we're doing multiplication properties. We have talked about these properties like several times this year, and we talk about them a lot just in the middle of our math class, a lot about which property. Which is the property we talk about most, do you think? Commutative. We talk a lot about commutative property, which says you can multiply in either way, right? 3 times 4 or 4 times 3, or that you can add either number first, 4 plus 2 or 2 plus 4, right? So we talk about that one a lot, but we are going to talk about the other ones here for multiplication. So we have associative property first. And our example problem says a coach had 16 players in each of 2 groups. Each player scored 5 goals. Find the total number of goals scored. So they have 16 times 2. Why did they start their expression with 16 times 2? Where does that come from? Zoe. But where in this word problem does it come from? Is what I'm asking. 16 players in each of 2 groups, right? So basically 2 groups of 16 players. And that's why it is started with the parentheses there, because that is going together. It is 2 groups of 16, and each player in those 2 groups is going to score 5 points. So that's how the original expression is written. The associative property lets us move those parentheses around if the entire problem is multiplication. Where do you think we might want to move these parentheses and why? Why would we want to change where those parentheses are? It's easier to multiply 2 times 5 than it is 2 times 16. And when we multiply 2 times 5, we get what number? 10. And 10 is one of the easiest numbers to multiply by, right? And so this is going to make it easier for us if we shift these parentheses. So you can see that they're writing that 16 times 2 times 5 is the same or equals 16 times 2 times 5. The numbers are in the same exact order. They've just scooted the parentheses around. So the order of operations tells us to always multiply our parentheses first. So 2 times 5 is 10. And then 16 times 10 is 160. Okay, the associative property allows us to move parentheses around if our problem is all addition or all multiplication. Okay, turn the page. Example 2 has commutative, which is the one we talk about all the time, that I can reverse the order of what I'm multiplying. It doesn't matter, right? So if I have 17 times 35, it's the same as doing, 35 and a half. It is the same as doing 35 and a half times 17. Is there any, do I have to do any computation there, any math? No, I just have to recognize that I can write it in either order. It makes them equal. So this, the unknown is 17. That's commutative property. If I'm multiplying or if I'm adding, I can switch the order of the numbers and it doesn't matter. Okay. Identity property of multiplication is when we multiply by what number? No, it's in addition, it's 0. So you're not completely wrong there, Gio. In addition, it's when we add by 0 is the identity property. But when we multiply, the identity property is what? Not 0. 0 is for addition. Because if I multiply a number by 0, it equals 0. So that does not give me the same identity. Multiplying by what number gives me the same identity? 1. So I would put here just real big, just so you remember if you have to look back, times 1. Just write that up there so you can remember. In a multiplication, the identity property is when you multiply by 1. Because anything times 1 equals itself. So 17 times blank equals 17. I should know right away. It is 1. All right. Take a second. It's kind of hard for us to do these on the whiteboards today, so you're just going to write it in your book and then we'll share. So please try 1, 2, and 3, which says draw lines to match the multiplication property used in each equation. So take a second and do those in your book. Put that down, please. We're not using that today. If you can, take a second and do these in your book. Thank you. Show me your pencil or give me a thumbs up when you're ready to go over these and see how you did. Show me your pencil or give me a thumbs up so I know. I see some people going back to the example to double check. Good job. All right, so let's look at number 1. Number 1 says 6 2/10 times 100 equals 100 times 6 2/10. What did they do there? Just reverse the order, right? What property is that? What do you think, Juliet? What property is that? Commutative. Good job. Here is 8 times 2 times 3 with 8 times 2 in parentheses. Here is 8 times 2 times 3 with the 2 times 3 in parentheses. What property is that? Killian, what do you think? The associative. That is associative property. All they did was move the parentheses. They didn't change the order. They're just the parentheses. Which makes this last one, Lewis, identity. Okay? Questions on that? Alrighty, let me stop this real quickly.